Hi, guys.
I did that with Tyler Tomlinson, too. I want to give a shout out to the Fine Communications Department at Culver Stockton College that I spoke to this week. I did some of their editing for them and looked at some of their podcasts and stuff. And
Cool.
Good stuff. They're doing great work over there.
Good.
Kids.
The future of our industry.
That's right, because you and I are getting old.
No. Never give up.
Really funky there.
Oh, well.
We are broadcast professionals.
Professionals, speaking of...
You're so profesh.
I really am.
You really are
Let's be
profesh.
real. But yeah, you're talking about broadcasting, and yesterday, as this airs, was Local Journalism Day.
Yeah, it's something that's celebrated. A lot of the non-for-profits use it to try to boost fundraising numbers and stuff like that, as of course they should. We thought we'd talk about it here, and of course the importance of local journalism as we approach our 5th birthday. And
What? I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
5?
So, 5.
5. 5.
So yeah, so we're
$5 foot.
getting ready to celebrate that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And and again, the story of how we came about, we've talked about before, but we'll gladly talk about it again. And we're glad to be locally owned. Of course, our friends at Elliott Publishing are also locally owned in the county. We don't want to forget them.
Nope.
But here in Quincy, we are kind of the last ones standing who do news. I mean, there are some other media entities that you would consider locally owned, but
we do daily updates.
Yeah.
Every day, all day.
Pretty extensive daily updates.
Yes.
Yeah, I ran one of the things I do in some of these conferences I go to, or boards and groups I'm members of. I'll just send them our stuff and say, "What do you think?" And they're like, "Well, how big's your staff? What do you got? Like 20 people working for you?" It's like, no, we're like 6, 7. So
Man, I'm not even
Had to fit that in, didn't you?
Yeah,
I did, yes.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. We are a small scale.
Tiny but mighty.
Yes, we are. Tiny.
Lean, mean, news and machine.
In regards to our 5-year, though, just a review about what that is right now. We have our Rivers Choice Awards going on. That's the banner located on the top of the news, the sports, the TV site. You get to click on that. And right now we are down to our final 4. That kind of happened right along with March Madness. I didn't plan that.
That's some great marketing timing on your part.
Thank you. It's just like it happens.
Marketing genius.
But we're down to our final 4. So the final 4 happened because you guys you wrote in the places. So whatever you wrote in is on there. I know a couple of people were confused. They're like, "Hey, but what about this with that?" And I'm like, no. We take from whatever was happening, the write-ins.
Yes.
This is all very, I don't want to say, it is calculated, but, our friends at Verbosity did an amazing job.
They did.
Where they made it so you couldn't have multiple votes. We're not doing AI, robots, this, or this. They're making it so real votes, real people. And again, now we're down to the final 4. And once the final 4 that closes is on 4/20.
Brittany's high holiday.
Another
day.
coincidence,
I think
right?
that's also Earth Day. No, actually, Earth Day, the 4/22, it will be, I think, the day that we announce the winners. We got to tally up everything, So we'll let our winners know, on 4/22. Was it 4/22? Yeah, 4/22. And then a week after that, we're going to have a huge little celebration.
Yeah.
With all our winners and sponsors and people that have helped make us who we are along the way.
Right,
it's going to be basically like the Emmys.
Pretty much, yeah. Red carpet, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, it's going to be great. But no, it's a lot of fun. Again, we can't thank people enough for the support we've received these 5 years. And like I say, we just want to say thank you. And maybe we'll have another party in another 5 years.
Little Smokies.
Little Smokies, probably some chicken wings, a little beer. So yeah, it'll be a really good time. So
let's talk a little
about beer.
No,
beer?
About just local journalism in general. Well, I feel like you guys know, you're in the know. I came when local journalism.
You were born into it, though.
You were literally.
Man, I really was. But I came into it much later because my parents both told me, whatever you do in life, do not get involved in media. And you know how much
Wah,
I
wah.
love to listen to my
Yeah.
parents.
They should have just told you to go be an anchor babe or something, and you wouldn't have not done that.
Yeah. So here I am, but I came, I want to say after the fact. I don't want to say after the fact of local journalism, but after the fact of what local journalism was. I think that we are what local journalism is now. There's been a big change there, like a huge.
That's not a big enough word as to how much the media has changed in the last. I've been doing it now. This is my 43rd year doing this. It's the word big or huge is not a big enough word. How much it's changed.
I mean, you and I both remember the times where you could smoke in newsrooms, and back when the ceiling tiles were black, but you also remember when we had probably when I first started KHQA, we probably had 10 reporters.
Oh, we in the control room at any given time, we would have a minimum of 3 people, unless it was the overnight shift. Minimum of 3 people in there. During newscasts, always at least 3 people, 2 camera operators. There was a staff of 5 engineers to fix things all the time. And newsroom 10 people, and sales staff. Who knows how many people? We didn't pay attention to them people.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
They just.
They were on another floor. To heck with them.
But no, it was a much different world. But what has happened now is you just have so many more outlets and so many more sources of news. You have, I go to these conferences the last couple of years. I've gone to the ones up in the Lion Conference, the Independent News Organization Conference, and you meet all these people from all over the country who are doing the same thing. Now, I'm not going to that conference this year because I'm doing this Mizzou thing and other stuff going on. But, you look at that and just all the, whereas you used to have, yes, big cities would have, multiple newspapers at one time and multiple TV stations and multiple radio stations. I was having lunch with our friend Quaid the other day, who's now back over at
Star.
Yeah. And he had said that he was thinking that there were like 5 live broadcast radio jobs right now in Quincy.
Wow.
Because you got Nora and Scott. Scott's full time. I don't think Nora's full time. You've got, I count him. It's not news, but it is music and it's entertainment and what Greg Haubrich does upstairs. You got Ryan Mooma at GEM. Since Quaid was let go at Town Square, they have nobody live on now in the mornings. No, Sam's not doing morning.
Okay.
They're all syndicated. I think Doc is the only one that's doing anything live in the afternoon.
And he does it for stations all over the country.
And he's doing it for all the stations in their Town Square group.
Yeah.
So he's like the afternoon DJ guy for that sector.
Yeah.
Those are the only people who are actually live on the air now. Back when you used to have, you got
some of the outlying Carthage and stations like
right,
that.
Yeah, sure. But still, Hannibal, Quincy, none. And even when you look at, going back when you had, a full, like when, when Michelle and I, when we talked about when she worked for WGM TV during the flood of '93, they had, 6 people in on air in the mornings for that. And then, TAD even had, back then, Reggie was on and Steve would come on and I was doing news. And it was just, like you say, it was just different.
Do you think it's ever going to go back?
No, never.
Like you don't think like people
multiple reasons. Corporations, there's one of them. They don't want human beings. They want something that's cheap and quick and easy, and the product doesn't matter as much to them.
You're gonna have AI. I'm sure if you don't already have AI DJs, you're gonna have AI DJs in the not too distant future.
I can almost guarantee you one of the smaller stations up north of here had one doing morning news, and because you could tell it was very clipped in between sentences. If they weren't editing something, it was clipping it in there, and then at the end, the person's voice would come on, and it was totally different. It was the same person, totally different, announcing their name.
Yeah.
Don't you think people at some point in time are going to just vie for that human interaction, though?
But
we're going to be so AI inundated, maybe like I would say 5 years from now. And those of us that were used to human interaction are just going to probably throw our hands up in the air and be like, we'll take anything. And even if it isn't coming from huge conglomerations, like you were saying, or corporations, you're going to start seeing small little guys like us even come up and try to do something on a human.
Are people going to be willing to pay for it? Because I think that a lot of, we're very lucky that we've got a really good, strong advertiser and sponsor base. But, at some point, some people are going to want, they're going to want to do a version of this here, and they're going to try to make it subscription-based or somewhere else. And a lot of the newspapers went subscription-based, and their circulations died because they went circulation-based, they went subscription-based, but just because they went subscription-based, they didn't put any more into their product.
Right.
And so if you're going to go subscription-based, you better give something people want to pay for. And, Jim,
you still got to have somebody going out and getting a story or getting information
and Jim,
instead of just repeating what somebody else
and Mike
is doing.
Kinchriff and I have been adamant that we did not want to go with the subscription model off the top. We felt we could sustain this with local advertising and sponsorships, and through almost 5 years, we have done that.
I want that to continue, not only because it is...
Well, she gets paid.
Yeah, because I get paid.
That little magical piece of paper at the end of the week, yes.
Let's be real. You take that... community helping community, local businesses helping the locally owned news, and vice versa. If you take that away, you're taking away the community helping community. Right. And I think that's a big part of what we do. A lot of our content comes from just what's in the now, like what's in the know from our sponsors. And I don't know, it would have a bad less than taste in my mouth.
Yeah, no, I think, and again, I think that there's people out there who are going to try.
And I would lose my paycheck.
Yes, and you lose your paycheck. People out there who are going to, I would assume that someday somebody's going to try to create another one of these here in town.
You found me out.
Randynews.com. So I think that, and that's fine, but I think that we do what we do pretty well. And again, WGEM at least has a pretty good sized news staff still, so I do want to compliment Gray for at least still making that investment. You really can't say that at KHQA, and you really can't say that at the Herald Whig these days. So at least WGEM is attempting to cover events and has a pretty sizable news staff.
Yeah, you no matter how much you want to save money and how much profit you need to have for your stockholders, you still got to have a product to sell.
Yeah.
And to get that product, you've got to have human beings involved in some way. That's all there is to it. I mean, at this point, 100 years from now, who knows? But right now, that's exactly what it takes.
Well, I'll be dead, so I won't care. But no, I think that we work really...
On the sunny side.
I do want to leave a legacy.
Side of life.
I want this thing. Yes, I want this thing to
we did,
continue
so I
after I'm gone. So I hope that you and whoever else is on board or running this thing when Randy and I are finally retired and picking pawpaws or whatever. Randy will never retire.
Nope.
But I probably won't either.
Retirement's for quitters.
I want to touch back at. So you guys were talking about the black ceilings from the smoke in the newsroom, and like this was happening and that was happening. What other occupation has these like tales of time, history?
Well, I'm sure restaurants do. Restaurants had to be that way back before the smoking ban hit.
Yes, and I don't even talk about that.
My boss, the guy that hired me at Channel 7, Tom Roby, a tremendous man, and took a hell of a chance on me, and thanks, Tom. I know you can't hear me anymore, but anyway, he was a 3-pack-a-day guy. He would sit there directing the news, flicking ashes as he was pushing buttons.
I'm not necessarily talking about the cigarette smoking so much.
But that's just part of the mystique of the whole thing.
Yeah, I love watching old movies and things about journalism. Good Night and Good Luck about Robert R. Murrow and the McCarthy hearings. That's one of my favorite movies because it's a flashback of the old days. And when you talk about cuts, CBS News and CBS Radio News was the Tiffany. It was the Tiffany network. It was the gold standard of broadcasting in this country for years, and now CBS is just completely going to eliminate their radio division come May. Because for a year, KHM or WTAD was a CBS affiliate forever until they switched to Fox. Because when I worked there on my first tour of duty there, I covered the flood of '93 and talked to Christopher Glenn, who was doing like the Saturday morning news, and I did a live foamer from the Casey's General Store, and he was asking me to describe the scene, and then I said, well, I got to get out of here because the water is now coming up under the door and hitting my shoes, and I probably need to get my car to the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, and again, so there's a history there. There's a legacy there. I think you go back and you talk about the old days of of sports. People talk about the old days of baseball in the 70s and 80s and football back then too. There's a lot of nostalgia associated with that kind of thing. I'm sure bartending very much the same way.
I don't know. I remember I started bartending right after the smoking ban, if we're referring to smoking, because I guess now that I think about it, it's like that's the thing that I'm thinking about is the cloud of smoke and whatever. But back to bartending, I guess, it was you could swim in it, I think, and I never wanted to be a part of I didn't hit that. I turned 21 and that ban happened that same year, so I was all good in the hood. But I guess when I'm talking about that olden days,
but you would come, and each bar and restaurant had its own specific odor because
they still do.
but they did worse back then
Because of the smoke?
Yeah, because you get home because Replay, Scoreboard, and Spring all smell different.
Huh.
And it'd be like, okay, I know where Ellen get home. I know where you were tonight. You were there. So, and Kelly's back then too.
I could always do that to people when they were coming up to me to the bar. I'd be like, you were just at whatever, but that was not based on smoke smells.
Yeah, you could walk out. You could walk out of Elders and go back to work after lunch.
How was Elders?
How was Elders?
Yeah.
But education, Ellen's been in it for however many years. I don't think do you think she remembers, back in the day, the smoke-filled rooms?
Well, no, because you could only smoke in the teacher's lounge back then, and she never smoked.
Or the student
smokers lounge. Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, there was a smoking lounge for the students when I was in school. Absolutely.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Mark Twain, I mean, they let the students go out behind the behind the barn and behind the FFA shed and smoke. Yep.
This is before cigarettes.
This would have been mid-'80s.
Was the age of 18, I guess. Then when did that happen?
Oh yeah, no. You had freshmen out there smoking. At 14 and 15.
I wonder when that happened. I'm guessing. My guess would be late 90s.
I would think so too.
No, I don't think it was that late. I think it was probably mid-'80s or something like that.
No,
For 18
it wasn't.
and older?
It wasn't mid-'80s.
Okay.
18 and older on your smokes?
No, I want to say it was early 90s.
I graduated in 78 and they were
now?
still going on.
No, it's 18.
Oh, I thought they were pushing it at one point in time to
I don't think so.
21 and older. But yeah, times are changing. I think decorum of things are changing, and I would like to talk about that after our break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Well, that was easy.
Good.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Jackpot Maggie's brings the spirit of Las Vegas to Quincy. Relax, have a drink, and try your luck on the machines. Jackpot Maggie's brings real Vegas fun home. A clean, comfortable atmosphere and a great location at 1515 South 12th. Jackpot Maggie's is full of games, friendly service, and drinks that won't break the bank. Are you ready for some Q Vegas action? Jackpot Maggie's is ready. It's a doggone good time.
Q.
Okay.
I love your cheerleader moves. I hope that one gets included in there.
Oh, I'm sure it will now.
I just realized this whole time, Randy, that
Your microphone's
our
going the wrong way.
microphones haven't been on.
Plus,
Oh my gosh! What's that? Oh yeah. No, they're wireless. I told you that a few weeks ago. I made these wireless.
Do we when we have the new space next month? Do we retire these?
Put them up on a shelf at least.
Yeah.
I mean, don't throw them
Put
away.
them behind us.
Yeah, put them up.
Put them behind us
with all the little
We're gonna
guys.
have wireless mics there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, instead of having hardwired mics, we have wireless.
I'm
over
still
there.
putting these on here. It makes it look better. I don't know. I don't like them
hide
without
behind
the
them.
cord, but I get to hide behind them. If I have to make a dramatic thing, I can be like, well.
You got that stain on your shirt you should probably have it in front of right now.
My stain?
There's no stain.
I don't have a stain. I've got mushrooms on my shirt. You want to know why?
Oh God, is it legal?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
actually morel season.
Oh yeah, okay.
You thought I was gonna.
You're talking about those
Going in a whole different direction.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's morel season. So if anybody has morels, hit me up because I'm not going hunting.
How much are they costing now?
Oh,
I don't pay-
$300 an ounce or something.
It
you know.
is on average, I do believe, about 50 a pound.
That sounds about right.
I have no idea.
sounds about right.
I'm not a mushroom person. I hate mushrooms.
Okay, well,
I've long said that sometime, 40 or 50 years from now when I die and when I'm sent where I'm destined to go.
Hey, down there, how's it going?
Yeah, hello. The only food that will be there for me is coconuts, celery, and mushrooms. And all the furniture and clothing will be made of styrofoam.
what did you do wrong?
Oh, everything.
No.
No, the mushrooms, like, I don't normally pay for them. I'm blessed with, like, great regulars that will bring them in, and I do like frying them up just once. I do like a one-time mushroom fry of whatever I get because it is a task, but it's a great Midwest treat.
It
Whether
is.
you, I don't know.
It is. Ellen doesn't
Good
like
for
them
you.
either, though.
Good.
Congratulations, you enjoy
Mushrooms
it.
also, I feel like, make me smarter. I take my
You can have
daily
mine.
dose of mushroom. It's like a mushroom, I don't know, different lion's manes, this, and this.
Isn't there
They're
coffee?
not magic mushrooms that I'm
Okay.
taking
Okay.
daily.
You're not, okay. You have other
talking
Are these
about
ground up into
the
a powder
magic-
that go?
No, I'm talking about the magic mushrooms they're gummies, and they're sold at SunMed, and
Okay.
I am on those regularly for I don't know, it kind of clears my head, gives me focus. The main mushroom in that, again, is lion's mane, not magic mushrooms.
Psilocybin.
Okay.
That's
But
the
not
magic
that.
mushroom.
It's not that.
Yeah.
Man, I can smell your Band-Aid whiskey.
Scotch, Islay malt scotch.
We were talking about decorum before the break, and I feel like this is the subject matter of the subject matter. So the subject matter is, over social media, I have seen the call for Mike Adkins, 3rd Ward Alderman's resignation.
Why?
This is based on a number of, I'm going to say it like this, violent social media attacks. It's also based on the fact that he blocked people from his Facebook account. And the person leading this charge is Brennan Hills, who he's a big voice in the community. But with this one, it was like, I see both sides. At first, I felt very compelled because I was actually one of the people blocked by Mike Adkins, and I didn't
Congratulations.
realize it until I saw him making headlines, waves in the news because of his recent city council appearance and his position with the library. So, like I do anything else, I'm always, scouring social media, searching for that, for content, for whatever it is that I would
It's your
like,
job.
whatever I, need to do.
It's your job.
And I realized I couldn't get in. I'm like, am I blocked? And I actually had a very nice person reach out to me and tell me that it is. That nice person, by the way, was Senator Jill Tracy. It kind of caught me off guard.
Nice.
I was
She's
like,
great.
oh, she really is. But she caught me off guard, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then I wanted to tell her all these things. I'm pretty sure I winky face, smiley faced her at the end. And I was like, oh, God, what are you doing, Brittany? But she let me in the know of the fact that when you are an elected official, you cannot block from social media. Then I had other people give me documentation on that and whatnot. So technically, it is illegal.
What if he removed the word alderman from his profile? Does
He
that
doesn't
matter?
even have it on his profile. And the thing is, I think he might be the only alderman that doesn't have an alderman page. So it is his personal page, yet he is conducting government conversation through that.
Okay.
Now, the issue at hand, though, where I think the Brennan Hills calling for the blocking and stuff like that, came from an altercation between Mr. Mike Adkins and Waylon Rhodes. He's a local business owner, and Waylon Rhodes was, quite frankly, attacking Mike Adkins, and Mike Adkins was on the defense on his personal page. So he decided to block him. So those are, just different reasons for blocking, I guess. Again, I'm trying to peel it out in my own brain because I feel like I see both sides. It is his personal Facebook, so he should have the right to block, right? However, you did take an elected position. This call
Cross
for,
the lines. He crossed the lines there.
Yeah, but this call for the resignation, this is the thing that I haven't questioned. All these people they're signing a petition online for his resignation. My question is, are they all under the third ward? Because
well, Brendan's not. He doesn't live in the third
but then he's technically not representing you. I mean, I guess some.
But he's representing part of the city.
But
well,
is
first
he
off,
representing you?
it's a
like,
petition.
don't
Well,
you need to be-
if you're in the city, he has an influence in some way, shape, or form
the
on
petition has no
all the rest of the city.
You're right.
petition has no teeth. It has no legal ramifications.
No,
People,
but
whatever.
you ram things up and things happen. I was actually thinking about, doing it kind of. I don't know. I was thinking about asking the questions. I definitely would not be one to start a petition like that.
No.
He goes, no.
You
But I was
wouldn't.
going to ask questions in regards to, hey, is it okay? And then, it came to my knowledge that no, it's illegal. Another thing, back when he blocked me, it was because of old coffee talk, almost summertime. Freedom Fest. Ashley and I came on Coffee Talk. I probably called it the roast of Mike Atkins that day. And we were talking about the fact that he attacked Muddy River News and called it, a liberal rag because we didn't give Freedom Fest the coverage that it needed. And I had to explain on Coffee Talk that Freedom Fest is it's a private event. So if they wanted coverage
It's also
outside,
a holiday on the 4th of July, and I'd like to give my people holidays off.
yeah,
unless
but if they
bad
wanted that
news
coverage,
happens.
they pay for it, just like any other event.
Did-
This is
Well, for the pay
Okay.
for the lead up of the coverage, pay us to cover it. There's a difference.
yeah.
Okay. Did you
We let
report on it? Say it's coming up, it's going to
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
Any news release they gave
Okay.
us, I'm sure we
There.
ran. We always
There.
do
That's
that.
it. That's it.
our
Show's
job.
over.
But
yeah, I tell
exactly.
people that you let us. We're not going to go cover your event unless it's a big deal. But we will let people know your event is coming. If it's part of a national thing, that when it goes to people are giving us crap for covering some of the No King stuff. Well, that was part of a national movement. So we were localizing what was happening on a national scale there.
That led to a block, though, and I get it, sort of. I understand the personal reasons, but at the same time, when you're an elected official, you forfeited your right to block people from your social media account if that is the social media account that you are using. But at the same time, I see this outrage and decorum is ridiculousness.
Decorum's out the door.
It's
There's
online.
No decorum.
It's online.
Keyboard
People
warriors.
can do anything they want to online
Everybody
because
wants
there's
to
no
be mad.
ramifications to it.
Nobody wants to. You can't have a civil discussion. We can't agree on things anymore. You all
because you have to outrage.
Yeah, because if you're not completely in the tank for my team, we might agree on 90% of the things, but if there's a 10% we don't agree on, well, then you're my enemy, and that's just not going to get us anywhere.
No.
I'm outraged that you think like that. There.
Tough shit.
It really, but it really is. We can't get anywhere with all this cry for attention and outrage and thus and this. I have a question, and maybe you guys could figure it out. My historian husband was telling me about some dude beat some guy with a cane on the Senate floor. Years and years and years.
I'm sure back in
there
the
were
1800s.
fist fights and
Yeah.
caning. Yes.
So
there,
this
yes.
is talking about decorum, right?
Back- yeah.
So
Civil War time. Yeah, they didn't exactly get along a lot of times.
I think this is past Civil War.
Well,
but,
probably civil rights, actually. Think about it. I'm sure there was some of that going on. When you had the Dixiecrats who didn't want to, open up the South to minorities, and yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of that.
But my point is, I guess we weren't so willy-nilly with so outraged and so
we didn't.
vulnerable and weak.
I'm right and nobody else
We
is wrong.
also didn't
and everybody else is
have
wrong.
the internet. We also didn't have a 24/7 news cycle. There was no CNN. There was no TikTok. There was no Facebook. So people could do shit and nobody would know about it. Now everybody knows everybody's business because of social media.
Yeah, and so while
Well, a good example of that is when Lincoln was killed.
yeah,
They didn't know for 6 months in some places in the country.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Train would go by. Why is the train going by? Oh, the president's dead. They're taking his body back to Illinois. What? The president's dead? Yeah.
Who, what, where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So decorum has changed regardless. My point, I guess, is the fact that, like, I see both sides. Yes, you need to be adhered to social media and the decorum behind it. And according to law, you can't block people if you are an elected official from your social media page if you are conducting government business,
yeah.
Which technically he's constantly discussing it on there. He also blocked us from Muddy River News, so he won't see this either, probably, unless he's going to the site.
Breaks my heart.
But
we only have 44,999
But then I
followers
guess,
now,
my question is what Brennan, I mean, I don't think what Brennan is doing is necessarily right. Like,
Right.
I feel like I see both sides. I see that Mike Adkins did wrong. I'm not really hurt by the block. Like, I have 5 other pages that I can look you up on, bro. But the big thing is, like,
wanna know about your other
are we, they're all business pages.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Okay.
But do we,
Stalker.
I didn't know about him. How can I be a stalker?
do we let stuff like this, like outrage like this, control how we conduct business, government, society?
We do. Obviously we do. We have a president who's an outrage machine on Truth Social. I mean, look what he...
But is he calling for people's...
He truthed on Easter that he was going to annihilate the Iranian people.
But he's not calling for their resignation because of, like...
No, he just wanted to kill them all.
For what?
The Iranians.
Yeah,
Rain down destruction, you know.
I feel like that's a bad...
Wipe out an entire civilization.
I know, but I feel like that's a bad... I feel like you shouldn't be comparing Trump with Brennan Hills. Like, that's a really bad comparison.
No, I'm just saying that is the escalation. He is the president is the worst case scenario of what is happening right now.
I also don't think he's calling for people's cancellation based on something that hurt his feelings or they were outraged by. He's calling for cancellation based on what is in the best interest of the country based on his opinions. I'm not getting behind one thing or the other, but I am saying, like, there's a difference there. He's not calling to bomb a bunch of people because his feelings were hurt. He's calling...
We're talking about Brennan Hills now.
No, Trump. Is he calling to bomb a bunch of people?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Because his feelings were hurt, or because this is for the greater good of the country?
Take your pick.
Because
No,
I just don't think
answer me.
Because he's doing it because I think that
You think his
he
feelings were
lashes
hurt?
out on people. Absolutely. I think somebody disrespected him, or
I do not
the
think
Iranian
he is
people.
calling for a bomb. I mean, that's just me. I am not...
We started this, okay?
I understand
We started
that.
this. So,
Oh, did we, though?
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
This initial one.
This one with in the Iran.
It wasn't building up.
No, we start. Well,
weren't
okay.
doing
No,
anything.
Israel was also, hey. Yeah, they were trying to say, oh, they're so close to. Well, we had decimated them 3 months ago or whatever, and then we're saying, okay, they're close again to having nuclear weapons. So now we're going to go, and then the Iranians were saying.
So time out. Nuclear weapons. Not his feelings were hurt. There's a difference there, and
Okay.
I'm not trying. Okay, but anyway.
Okay, Melania.
I don't think Melania could speak for him that way.
Okay.
Barely speak.
I see. Like, I mean, even me on my mushrooms knows the difference of that. But my question is the outrage on things like this enough where we want to raise our hands and change government? Mike Adkins, as much as I'm not a fan, he still went before people, put himself out there, and became an alderman. Being an alderman isn't a really...
And Brennan Hills has also tried.
Yeah.
He's run for alderman.
Actually, I take that back of what I just said about Mike Adkins, because this is a self-serving job. The whole problem that I had with him in the first place was there's a big battle going on between him and the North End Tavern. He lives directly across the street from it. The North End Tavern has been a bar for over 100 years, and I'm pretty sure has never really had a police report, like an extensive police report, maybe 1 or 2 from my understanding, in the owners they've owned that bar for they've owned it for 30 years now. They're one of the longest standing bar owners. Congrats to them. But just last weekend, I guess they got 5 phone calls alone. You know, it's like
From Mike Atkins about disturbances.
I
at
don't
the
know
bar.
exactly who, but I do know that he or the neighbors across the street do. And ever since he did come to his aldermanic power, the North End Tavern has gotten more calls than ever before. So I do, have a problem with that, because I would think that as an alderman, when you cheers to you for being the alderman. I think that takes a lot of time on your hands. But when, you're putting down businesses in your ward instead of supporting them, that's a problem. Also, the very definition of an asshole, I've said it time and time again, is the person that moves in next to a bar and then complains about the bar.
Or an airport, frankly.
Oh my God.
That happens constantly.
For real?
Oh yeah. People move in next to small airports, that have maybe 10 or 15 planes housed at that airport, and 2 or 3 planes take off a day or land a day. Just people going out and flying around having fun. And the people that move in next door, oh my God, that's so loud. Well, it's keeping us up at night. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No.
That is, so the outrage.
Yeah.
When outrage is constant, it becomes disingenuous. And that's just like my 2 cents with this. I know, has anybody ever been removed from city council?
I don't recall. I mean, I think we had a mayor resign a few years ago.
Quite a while ago, we had calls for it was Mayor Nicholson.
Yeah.
They were called for him to step aside,
And he did.
The mayor, he's long gone now. He had some issues with.
Yeah.
And we lived on the corner of 30th and College in Quincy, and he lived about 2 blocks down. And you could guarantee that at least twice or 3 times a week there was tire tracks through our yard.
Yeah.
Until Dad put in some great big chunks of limestone right on the corner.
Cocoon!
Cocoon! That was the end of that.
I mean, this is the first in my time of, looking at local government and news where I've seen anybody call for any action of somebody, their removal from city council. So it piqued my interest. I do want to see how this plays out. Again, I commend you for becoming the alderman, because that's not an easy job. But at the same time, lay off the North End. And I guess figure out, maybe talk to your lawyer, I don't know, figure out where that goes with social media and blocking. My suggestion would just be join in with everyone else that has an alderman page where you have to.
And obviously, if he doesn't have an alderman page, he has his own page. Then people are going there to get
their information.
Well, so set up your own alderman page, and if somebody's still
Exactly.
coming to your original page, that's your personal page. Say, sorry, this is my personal page.
Exactly.
I don't discuss things
Yeah.
on here relating to government. Go to this one and talk to me there. I'll be happy to deal with you.
Ben Uzelac did that. I know, because we had our back and forth, and now I'm not blocked, though, you know what I'm saying, but I can still access his alderman page, and I'm also not blocked. But yeah, the block to me states that you're not cut out for the job. If one comment hurt your feelings, just like in regards to the decorum, where it hurts your feelings, so now you're calling. Some people just aren't cut out for the job. I know you said Brendan Hills did it, or went out for it. There's a reason why I don't think he made it, and these people need to realize that, if you're going to go for the job, you better be made for the job. And I don't think having your feelings hurt in any regards is part of your job.
No, you got thick skin. If you run for office, you got thick skin.
Speaking of thick skin, you got some thick skin.
Okay.
I heard you're making an international
Oh,
flight.
that, yeah.
And you're leaving me.
Yes, dear.
Just for a short period of time.
Just about 2.5 weeks or so. I'll be out of the country.
It'll be the worst 2.5
so you'll all be
weeks of my
safe.
life.
Yeah. So about 6 months ago, a buddy of mine that I've known since I was 14 years old, probably. And he and I have traveled together before on different ventures with our wives and everything. But he called me up and said, "Hey, me and my brother that lives out in California, we're going to go to Japan for a few weeks and get on a cruise ship and ride around the islands. You want to go?" I'm like, "Okay." So I discussed it with Marcy, and she said, "Oh yeah, I don't care, whatever." And so, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, I hop on a plane in St. Louis, and we head for Japan.
That sounds like fun.
Well, it should be. It's
I'm just like, whoa.
It's a cruise ship, and it's 10 days at sea, and the high sea, but every day every day except for day 3 and day 9, which is probably when we'll try to do one of our Zoom calls or something. We stop at a different port every day, and you get off and go see whatever you want to see, do whatever you want to do, and as long as you're back on the ship by X number of hours or whatever.
What happens if they leave you?
Then you got to figure out how to get where you're going.
Then you got to go buy a samurai sword.
I mean, it's there are different things on the ship that you can do if you just want to stay there all the whole time, or you can go on shore and do whatever you want to do there. And they have guided excursions. You can go to Mount Fuji or whatever shrine or whatever thing there is in that particular port.
What's the thing that you're looking most forward to?
When we get done with the cruise and we get back, we spend the last 3 days in Tokyo. We're just going to hang out there for 3 days because there's 2 other guys that are going from California that are friends of his brother. We are going to go see a baseball game. Oh. And I can't tell you what the name of the teams. I could look it up pretty quick, but we're going to go see
Giants if you're in Tokyo.
It's not the Tokyo Giants. It's some really weirdo name.
Hiroshima Carp?
Something like that. Yeah, sure.
Aren't the Japanese extra good at baseball?
There's some good players. Yeah, the best player in the majors right now is Japanese.
That's what I thought.
So we're going to do that for one day, and then another day. I got a text about a week ago or so from my buddy Joe is his name, Joe, and he said, "I know this might be rhetorical, but how would you feel about riding go-karts through the streets of Tokyo?" Like, yeah,
fun.
So you can rent go-karts and ride through the streets of Tokyo.
Oh my god!
And
it's gonna be literally like a Mario Kart world.
Yeah. And you have to have an international driver's license. So AAA issues international driver's license. I got one, and off we go.
I did kart racing in downtown Quincy. Does that count?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the same.
I did.
It's exactly the same.
I want to touch back on the baseball thing. So baseball, is it an American sport or no?
Well, baseball's an American sport.
It was developed in America.
But the Japanese play it very well, and there are good teams and good players over there, and we do have some Japanese players.
So, the sport
we also have American players who actually go over there to play,
That's what I thought, too.
Sure.
Okay, so the sport originated in America.
In New York.
And
Abner Doubleday.
After what?
Abner Doubleday was the man who invented baseball.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. We'll have to touch on that sometime. But okay. I want to know, when did it go, I guess, to Japan, and how
the Japanese leagues, I think, after World War II, I think that was one of the things when we were trying to rebuild the country after we dropped a couple bombs on them. I think we tried to, hey, here's baseball. Maybe this will make up for it.
Those bombs probably weren't based on feelings.
No, they bombed us when they attacked Pearl Harbor. That's what those bombs were for.
It saved millions of literally millions of lives. They were planning a ground assault into Japan, and that would have. Yeah. They were the guy who hired me at Channel 7 was scheduled to be in that ground assault, and he was a radio man, and that meant he was the first one they'd shoot at, and they all volunteered to go, and they were expecting and would accept 80% casualties. They were going to send tens of thousands of people on shore. The baseball teams are the Yakult Swallows versus the Yokohama Bay Stars.
Can you even say that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, do they serve hot dogs there?
This isn't broadcast TV.
I know.
We can say anything we want.
They're minor league teams called the Spitters. Yes.
Do they serve hot dogs there?
I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they have mushrooms on them.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the decorum of local news
local broadcasting now. Yeah.
The last part of decorum is as we have the Masters golf tournament on in the background.
Masters.
There's no place that has more decorum and respect for decorum than Augusta, Georgia.
We talk like this the whole time in this voice, and we just make it so that your Sunday nap is just luxurious on your grandma or grandpa's couch.
And you know what the great thing is about the Masters? They even let women on the course now.
Oh my
right.
God! If my drink wasn't full, I'd throw it at you, Randy.
No, it's the Masters is the one golf tournament that I try to watch a lot of. I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but I'll try to watch as much of it as I can. And I had it on 2 TVs coming in this morning, and then Brittany started talking like this because I had golf on.
How am I supposed to do my work when I have 2 TVs and they're both whispering at me at the same time?
I had one of them on mute actually because I didn't want to have 2 guys talking. So, but yeah, no, I love the Masters, and again, they're having great weather down there.
Well, I'd rather hear the Masters than Randy drilling over there in the
North
studio.
The North Studio. Yeah, well, you can't wait to show that to you guys here in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be really neat.
And I'll be in Japan when you get to see it.
Yeah, but you better have it done before you leave.
Probably.
Probably.
Well, I can't wait for our interview cross seas in Japan. We're gonna.
Yeah, we'll try to do it live from on ship because I got the internet package for the ship.
Nice.
So we'll try to do it actually at sea.
You're gonna charge
I'll try
me for
not
that?
to flub it up.
Sure.
It might end up being Bob.
If you insist, I'll do that.
And
All right,
me
don't worry.
together.
That'd be fun. Don't swallow any of your Colts while you're over there.
Okay.
Don't what? Oh my God! Well, this has been a great edition of
Here we are.
Club Buddies. See you next time.
Bye.